Hello, dear viewer, and welcome back to Dark Deity on Steam with me, Jelenon. We come back to Elias saying, ARG! Still no luck with those soul anchors? There are still places I haven't looked, but I'm not optimistic. Akmenos must be contained inside one of them, no? From what I can determine, yes. However, there's no telling what other safeguards he has in place to evade detection. Perhaps he's able to conceal his presence somehow, or freely move from one anchor to another without my knowledge. Or it's possible I've been less than diligent in my search thus far. I may have simply missed it. Don't worry. That's something I can rule out immediately, Elias. You're thorough to the core. If anyone can find Akmenos, it's you. Thank you. Stay strong, my friend. The Necromancer will face justice yet. Irving, do you have a moment? Something tells me you have good news, Maeve. We've had a breakthrough with the staff. It turns out it's even more remarkable than we thought. The staff is not only of exceptional construction and design, it's one of a kind. None like it before or since. The wood originates from the trunk of an ancient tree species known as Baraskin. Its myths tell of a sap like blood, roots like veins, and bark like mottled skin.
Brilliant.
One could say the tree occupies a space between flora and fauna, truly at home in neither classification, but existing in both. It's likely this is why the staff exerts such strong influence over the souls caught in the chasm between this life and the next. So Akmenos found this Baraskin and took its power for himself. Not quite. The staff's original owner was a sorcerer who lived before the calamity. He gave it the name Merrimack, which we're still attempting to translate. We know little else of this sorcerer's life, beyond that he seemed to be driven by a desperate desire to resurrect a deceased lover. Perhaps Merrimack was her name, or perhaps it's something completely unrelated. But what does this long-gone sorcerer have to do with Akmenos? How did the staff end up in his hands? I'm asking myself the same things. If we know first, you'll know second. Rest assured of that. Okay then. The obvious choice, is it?
Indeed.
Yes, when we took Red Hill, we cut him off from his supply of grain. With Canopy Bridge, we'd stand a good chance of keeping him from the arms and armor he'd need to retake it. It's close, which makes things a whole lot easier. We can strike quickly before anyone knows we're coming. From the sound of things, they're already expecting us.
What?
What do you mean? Supposedly, they station an inspection party on the bridge to prevent contraband and propaganda from slipping into the capital. The locals, however, say the size and equipment of the group tell a different story. They seem to be preparing for a far more violent confrontation.
Oh yeah?
Then we strike there first. If we split up, we can surround the soldiers on the bridge. We should be able to make short work of them, or at least buy our troops enough time to take the east and west city. What makes you so sure? I've seen what we're capable of when we stick to a plan. Varric is arrogant. He overestimates the strength of his men. We can take anything that Oathbreaker throws at us. Lincoln, are you sure this would help as much as you say? There are other trade routes into Delia. What do the caravans bring over the bridge anyway? Oh, lots of things. Beautiful gems and jewelry from Nulay, and fine ropes and dresses from Karmont. At least I think it's Karmont. Clothes and jewelry. I'm not sure that's worth our time.
Well...
Swords, shields, helmets, all that stuff too. But I was always more interested in the bows. Ah, I see. Well, then it seems there's not much else to discuss. Well, if you want to get on the other side of the bridge, I know some super secret river crossings that can get us there.
Good work.
Perfect. We'd run a pincer on them while the rest of our forces secure the town. They won't be able to send reinforcements.
I'm all fired up!
Good. All this talking of battles got me itching to make some.
Pace yourself.
We should be cautious. So far we've had Varric on the run, but he's getting desperate. Who knows what he'll try next? A dog is most dangerous when cornered. Ha! Varric's no dog. He's more like a ferret. Hey, I hope you didn't hear that, Butter. Oh, poor Butter. Alright then. Let's save. We have 11k. We could upgrade Meteor just because. It's so tempting. It's just so tempting. I wonder if there's an achievement for getting level 4 weapons on one character. Like all level 4s. If so, we... I don't know. Well, Bianca, let's talk. Hey, Caius, remember what we said about drawing lines? Yes? Well, I think we should keep an eye on Alexa. Half the time she seems like she's about ready to raise Sojourn all by herself. Yeah, she definitely has no love for Varric. That's the understatement of the century.
Well...
I'll make a note of it, but I wouldn't worry too much. If anything inspires her, it's her love of the common people, and and there are plenty of those in any city. That's true. I'm no politician, but I have to think we'll need their support for the Delia we want to rebuild. That's definitely the wiser route than the one Varric took.
Definitely.
Sometimes it just seems like it's a personality trait for these guys. What do you mean? Like they hate common people just to be quirky, the way someone might have a thing for Sun Elf tragedies or battle tiaras. And rather than make them unique, it actually makes them just like everyone else. Exactly. Sometimes I don't even see how it benefits them.
Well...
There are those who take a different approach. Monroe's father, for example.
Now what?
And look at how Monroe resents him. Case in point. I'm not so sure he will by the end of all this. When the dust settles, his father may be one of the few lords that remain.
Who'd have thunk?
Maybe it's the start of a new trend then. Well, I wouldn't count on it. Come on, a little wishful thinking never hurt anybody.
Seriously?
I'm not sure that's true, actually.
How cute!
Mr. Cynical over here. You picked that up in your lol days?
Relax.
Wouldn't you like to know? Still think I'm spying on you for the Delian army, huh? You could be playing the long game.
Not even.
I'd never play the long game.
Hold on.
Now that I'm quite skeptical of. Hey, don't start. Knock it off, Kynes.
Not likely.
You're right. I wouldn't want a certain Aramoran princess to hear us.
Oh no, you don't.
You little. So I guess everybody knows Bianca has a crush on the princess. Okay. Good to know. Corbin. These bones are aching for a good song. I enjoy one myself now and again. That was me making a request. Oh, you'll forgive me, but I don't sing.
You what?
Don't sing? Irving said you were a historian.
Certainly.
I am. I've devoted myself to the histories of the past and hope to write one of our own time someday.
Varden's beard.
Right. If my people wrote all of their histories down, there'd not be a stone left on Edlin.
How boorish.
Yes, well, perhaps that's why paper is my medium of choice. Leaflets are only good for blowing in the wind. If it's worth writing down, it should be written in stone.
Absurd.
But as you've correctly pointed out, that would present a problem for long works of histories. That's why we sing ours. A book can be destroyed or cast aside, but walk on the roads in Everhearth, and you'll hear the songs of our ancestors, whether you intend to or not.
Interesting.
That sounds intriguing. I might like to experience that myself someday. Perhaps when we... I know a fair number of them myself. If you insist, I might be able to muster my strength. But you'd best make yourself comfortable. They're each of them quite long. Oh, that's quite all right. I think I'll... Ahem. Before the mountains rose up from the earth, when gemstones shone with none to judge their worth. Oh, Fenton. Now, you're rather tall for a dwarf, aren't you, Fenton? By our standards, aye. I'm big as they come. In one dimension, anyway.
Aye.
Just the one? Aye. Pity.
That's cute.
Have you known many dwarves? Not as many as I might like.
No.
You seem to know a bit about our people. A girl learns a thing or two when she's locked in a library for half an eternity. Many a dwarven play helped me pass the time. Corella and Grungar was a personal favorite. Ah, I know it well. It was Grungar's tall stature, actually, that helped him convince Corella he was human like her. You think with a name like Grungar she might have figured it out? It's a rather traditional dwarven name. I can only assume she wasn't half as well read as you, Lady Sloan. Many are not. Tell me, when they perform the play in Everhearth, do they usually cast a human actress from the surface to play Corella? Not that I've seen. It's always a Sheila and stilts. Interesting that they would go through all that trouble. Makes it a lot easier to perform the scene where they resize Corella. Ah, yes, I might imagine. Okay, dwarven tragedies and stuff, huh? Alright, Alden. Alden, come here. I have something for you.
Wow.
A book? Whoa, it's so heavy. A journal, yes. I fashioned the cover from dragon skin.
Huh?
I thought dragons had scales.
Certainly.
They do indeed, bound together with a thick and steady skin, not unlike the pages of your journal. It has other properties too, which make dragons significantly more difficult to kill. Resistance to fire, for example. Does that mean the book is resistant to fire too? Why not see for yourself? Cast a fire spell on the journal. Oh no, Alden's too strong. Don't do it, Alden.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't want to ruin it.
I'm sure of it.
I'd be more impressed than anything if you managed that. I'm sure. Go right ahead.
Whoa.
That's amazing. The flames just curl right around it. Precisely. Dragons are magnificent creatures. It's a shame we had to slay this one. Many can be reasoned with. Have you ever reasoned with a dragon? There are many tales contained within the pages of the Journals of Corv and Galavar, But those pages are for his eyes only, just as these pages are for yours. Thanks, Corbin. I wasn't expecting this. Of course. I trust you'll use it well.
I've got a lot to learn.
There's already so much to write about. I'd better get started right away. Good lad. Aw, that's cool. Impressive craftsmanship, Vesta. I didn't take you for a seamstress.
I'm afraid not.
You'd be right not to. This is amateur work. I've hardly improved since my mother first taught me. And what's this here? A trim for Samara's hood. In my time in Aramor, I tried to learn the patterns of their craft. The designs are quite intricate.
Certainly.
Yes, I've studied their geometric architecture extensively. Of course you have. Nothing surprises you anymore, does it? On the contrary, Corbin, you're full of surprises. I suppose that's what I've gotten used to. A woman of self-contained paradoxes. That sounds a lot better than cracked in the head. Speaking of surprises, I suspect some of my prayers of late have been misplaced.
How?
Oh, our priestess having a crisis of faith? Your priestess is discovering the almighty hand of Solaric hasn't been striking down foes all around her. Or at least not as consistently as the quick-bladed Corvin Galavon.
Interesting.
Ah, I see. Perhaps you're not wrong to thank Solaric. Have you considered I might be the answer to your prayers? Wouldn't that just go right to your head? It would be my greatest honor to serve the gods. For your sake, I hope the gods don't understand sarcasm.
I'm sure of it.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I think I'm better off hoping they also have a sense of humor. Well, if my life's any evidence, they certainly have that. Yes, I believe they do. Okay, interesting, interesting. Alright, Benji. Our champion. Our one-hit wonder. Hey, Sloan. I wanted to ask, but kept forgetting. What kind of stories did your pa tell you about mine? Not many, I'm afraid. They didn't know each other long, and truthfully, I'm surprised you seem to know so much about him. Oh, sure I know about him. My pa looked up to him big time.
I'm intrigued.
Impossible. That doesn't really add up with what I've heard. Well, maybe you should do less math and more listening, huh? Let me spin you a tale like my pa would.
That's cute.
I guess we can do that. It's a cold, dark night. The year is 1079. Benji the First is trudging through. They met in 1078, actually, during the Nulasian border war. Huh, must have forgotten the date. Anyway, trudging through the rain to sneak up on an encampment of Nulasians.
Nothing less than the best.
He'd spotted the campfire from a ways off and was determined to save his brothers in arms. He roared into their camp. And it turned out it was just Henry and his advisor. Their wagon had gotten stuck, so they were camped for the night. He sure felt silly. That isn't how I heard the story told. Well, I'm sure you heard it from the other side.
Benji!
Can you imagine a big hulking Benji in this suit of armor busting out into the camplight in the middle of the night? A terrifying thought, and exactly how my father had told the story. Why in the world did he think they were Aramorans? They were hundreds of miles from the conflict. You can never be too prepared. That's pretty great. Garrick. Okay, no. Let me talk to Garrick, please. Thank you. Okay. You got the chance to return home again after all, Benji. A rare gift in the life of an adventurer like yourself. Was it strange to fight in your home city on the other side?
I'm lost.
We fought on the other side? I thought both times we fought on the side of the people. That's not an entirely incoherent thought. I suppose from a certain angle, yeah, we did. That's why I didn't feel strange then. The people of Red Hill are strong. They deserve to be free. I couldn't agree more. That's good. Say, Benji, I think I could use your advice on something.
All right.
I'm not sure anyone's ever asked me to do that before, but I'll try my best. Comforting. Regardless, I think you'll be quite suited for this task. Fire away. Choice words to say to an archer. I'm at a sort of crossroads, my friend. I can't decide if it's better to spend my coin on a better bow or better arrows. A bow upgrade should increase the force of every arrow I loose, but will require some time to adjust to the excess pressure on the bowstring. Finer arrows, on the other hand, depending on how much I choose to spin, can improve the speed, stability, and piercing strength of every shot, with little, if any, extra effort. I suspect I'm overthinking all this, which is where you come in. If you were in my position, what would you do? Let's think about this. Off to a good start. How often would you need to buy another bow? Ideally, once, assuming I take good care of it. Arrows, I'd need to stock up on as soon as I run out. And mastering a new bow would mean you have to train to become stronger.
Right.
Yes, I suppose it would.
It's simple.
In that case, I think the answer's pretty obvious. The bow upgrade seems like the way to go if you want to become a better archer, and I don't know why you wouldn't. I thought you might be good at this. Thank you, Benji. I expect I'll follow that advice.
Nothing less than the best.
Happy to help. Oh, Benji, the best boy. After all. Didn't think we'd be seeing you again. I made those a man's last words once. Yikes, hope he deserved it. He definitely did. Filthy deserter thought he could get the jump on me and my friends. Then he thought he could sneak away. You get away with one mistake now and then, but never two.
Huh?
Really don't mean to kill the mood here, but weren't you a deserter too, legally speaking?
Don't think so.
Resisting is not the same as deserting. We didn't turn our weapons on our own people for a profit.
Could be.
Maybe not, but it sounds like you waylaid plenty of caravans. We redirected some supply chains, and only when they were carrying arms or armor for the war effort. I don't imagine all that redirecting occurred as peacefully as you make it seem. There were times when we were forced to defend ourselves. You sure have an interesting way of looking at things. Before Varric put a target on my father's back, I saw things like pretty much everyone else. When I learned the world was upside down, I tilted my head to see it as it truly is. Standing on your head, huh? Now this is starting to make sense. Clever. Oh dear. Okay. Anybody else? Samara and Brooke. Ahem. Brooke, hello. Did you need healing?
No.
No, and I mean it this time. Please, don't go casting spells on my legs. As you like. Just came to talk a bit. Forgive me if I'm cynical. That seems a bit unlike you. Did Sarah send you? Sorry? Well, She did, didn't she? She is worried. And she has good reason, too. There's a lot at stake. You're certainly right about that. I can feel the eyes of the Thae'lanel nobles like daggers in my back. They're eager to see what role Sarah and I will play in all this. For many, this revolution is about transforming their way of life. For the nobility, it's just another day in politics. If some play their cards right, banners will change colors, and not much else will come of it at all.
Can't trust them.
I never understood the appeal of politics. Nobles are practically the only ones without personal stakes in all the great crises of the world, and yet we look to them to govern our lives and declare our wars. That's only partially true. When a crisis is big enough, everyone has personal stakes in it, and death pays no respect to titles. I myself lost friends in Alaris. Good ones, too. I wasn't aware. I'm sorry. Well, you don't have to be, because we're going to make it right ourselves. That's no trivial task.
No.
It isn't, but that's all the more reason it has to be us, and we can't hold anything back. That way, no matter what happens, it's out of our hands. We'll know we did everything we could. If there's one thing I'm not worried about, Samara, it's you holding back. You won't pull any punches, and neither will I. I know you won't. It's not in our nature, is it?
I don't know.
I guess not. I'm glad you stayed, Brooke. I'm sure you could have found work that paid well anywhere you went, but you chose to stick around. That's got to mean something. Maybe it does. Maybe someday I'll have time to sit around and think about it. But today's not that day. We've still got work to do. That's right. Let's get to it. Okay. Marin. Heal. For someone who never wanted to be a healer, Samara, you sure have talent.
If you say so.
Please, you seem to have things under control just fine when I joined. Maybe, but there are a lot more of us now. I'm grateful I can share the burden. We've grown quite a bit. It's astounding, really. We weren't even sure we'd be able to convince all of you to come with us in the beginning. But you did, without much effort even. And now, it's beyond belief how many people we've drawn to our cause. It seems like people are starting to wake up to the dangers we face. Hopefully, not too much. If we do succeed in preventing anything worse from happening, it wouldn't do most folk any good to know just how precariously their way of life balanced on the edge of a knife.
They're counting on us.
The illusion of stability governs many lives. I worry chaos could be the only fruit if everyone knew how fragile the social order truly is. Personally, I think the common people can be trusted to know more than you think. Most of their lives are incredibly difficult even without war. They face hardship on a daily basis. They can handle hard truths.
Are you sure?
I'm not so sure history supports that, Marin. I disagree. Think of the role mistrust has already played in today's world. Varric in your kingdom, the Order of Eternals and the Aspects. It seems to me that a little trust could have avoided a lot of problems. It's pretty obvious what you mean about Varric, and of course I agree. But what about the Order of Eternals?
I don't know.
I just feel like if more people knew about the aspects, they would have been better defended against misuse. And who knows? Maybe they could have even helped to advance civilization instead of collecting dust in treasuries and locked boxes in ancient temples.
I'm following.
That's an interesting theory. Just something I've been thinking about. Well then, you're undoubtedly a good leader. Your mind gravitates towards the future and approaches that might make Terrazale a better place for all of us. I'd follow someone like that into battle any day.
You really think so?
Well, I can pretty safely say I never thought I'd hear that from a princess. I never thought half the things we've done were even possible. Turns out, I was thinking too small. I know what you mean. My view of what's possible is certainly a lot wider now. Let's try not to lose it then. The wide view of the world. It's an advantage, really, to know what's actually possible, what you're capable of when you put your all into something. It's like a power all by itself, I think. That's right, Mary. I think so too. Well, that's good. Anybody else? Nope, we're all talked out. Okay. Now we have a few weapon tokens we have received. Let's save before I accidentally misclick or something. Knowing me. Caius, you're probably fine. You pretty much don't need anything. Draenir does the damage. We're good. Fenton. We might want to go Kodachi, actually, on you. Since you do have some issues with accuracy. And usually you're good against, you know, like rogues and stuff. So, yeah. Let's do Kodachi. And I'll probably upgrade that further. Benji, my boy. My man. We're going to upgrade your broadsword, I think. Or your Kodachi. Because now you only need to hit something and you kill it. You know what? Yeah, that just makes so much sense. You never hit twice, so... Just going accuracy on you. Now I'm curious, if we hadn't have made Irving a berserker, what would that look like? Okay, now we also need to give her a better non-fire weapon at some point. Molten Globe, we know will become a meteor. We probably don't need to upgrade that any further. Alden, you probably don't need to upgrade your fire whip, but you know what? Kind of just want to. Becomes Emberbite. Okay. Elias, you're probably fine for now. Astral Assault is great. Helena has Combustion and Pylum. I think we're happy with that. Bianca. You have the Sarisa, you are fine. Sia, you have the Stiletto. Vesta. You're now a Phantom. Really don't know if we care to upgrade her stuff any further. Ren, we probably want to upgrade in the future, maybe. Yeah, Irving's got his felling axe, so he's already pretty much there. And then it becomes its ultimate form. I would have thought the axe would deal more damage, but, I mean, that's an accurate axe, not a damage axe, so, you know. Man, Transfusion, base 8 damage is better than the double axe. Lightning Strike is even better than that? Huh. It is interesting how these things work out, isn't it? Okay, Ford, you're probably fine as a Slayer. We've got the Vow if we need it. We probably want to make Maeve better. Let's get that Gladius better. Liberty, we haven't really used much. Garrick, you kind of just, you know, we're going to try to turn you into a green knight, or whatever, and it'll be great. You're probably fine. Okay. And these people are kind of too far behind now, I think, to really catch up. Sarah, I think, can be fine still, but we probably need to upgrade her damage to make her even better. Alright. So we're going to want a bunch of tier 3s. I don't think I actually needed to heal anybody too much, right? Let's just double check. I still haven't found the time to force feed some of these stat ups. It'd be really nice if you could just do that. Well, you know what? I bet. Can I just... No. So even in here, I can't really force Caius to drink that. Unfortunate. Okay. Let's get some tier 3s. Do I want more tier 3s? Or do I want a tier 4? We'll take a tier 4 because it's cool. Not because it's smart. Okay. And then we upgrade stuff. Alright. So... what do we want to do? I think we give your javelin a little bit more spunk, or the Volg. It is more damage. We get damage as we move. We'll go javelin. Okay, now it's a pylon. Could make Astral Assault its final form. The Sarissa. Okay, we still have some tier 3s that I wanted to do. Like Rin, we could do that. Try to make Monroe more accurate. Irving. Weight 8 on that axe. We can make Ford's axe better. We can make Brooks' axe better. Oh, that's a tier 2 token. Oops. Okay. Well, wait. Could make Iris more accurate. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is probably make Rin better partisan. Then we're going to upgrade either Bianca, Sloan, Bianca or Sloan. Let's give Bianca the upgrade. Alright. We will save and call this an episode. Leave a like if you enjoyed Dark Deity. Subscribe for more gaming videos. Comment below on how you think we will do in the next battle on the Canopy Bridge. I hope you have a great day, dear viewer.